So we're just going to be talking about the overhead squat as part of the FMS. There's a grading scale. So, well, number one, really fast, the FMS has been known to look at exercises and try to incorporate and understand future injury. And so by taking a person through a progression of exercises, we can notice weaknesses, strengthen those, and try to prevent injury. So we're going to do the overhead squat, and there's a grading scale of 0 to 3. And so I'm going to run Cole through the exercises, and I'll just kind of scale them out for you. So first of all, I'm just going to instruct Cole to place a bar over his head. I want to make sure his arms are at 90 degrees, out a little bit here. And then he's just going to raise up. And then my number one instruction is I want his feet parallel or shoulder width apart, and I'm just going to have him instruct him to take as deep a squat as possible. Good. So what you're wanting to do then is look for where the bar lines up, where his torso lines up, as his knees go over his feet, or if the femur gets below horizontal. They did not, and so that would be a 3 if it was perfect. You then progress to placing a pad, or FMS has their own set, but you want to put a pad below behind their heels to raise them up slightly, and then shoulder width apart again, and you instruct the same exact. You just tell them to take as deep a squat as possible. Good. And if that is good and he gets to the upper torso parallel with the ground, or with the tibia, or horizontal to the ground, if he gets his femur below horizontal, his knees are aligned over his feet, and a dowel is under or over his feet, that would be a 2 on the box. If he didn't do that, we would grade him at a 1, and if he had pain with any of these motions, he's an automatic 0. So that's your scaling and your grading. So now for a corrective exercise, Cole will talk about it.
So I was able to perform the squat with the pad correctly, but one thing we noticed is that the knees start to get that valgus force, the knees start to come in. So we're going to do an exercise that will facilitate basically a stimulus on the outside of my knees, and so that I engage my gluteus medius while I do my squat. So we're going to perform a normal squat. I won't have my arms over my head, but in this scenario here, the bands are placing a valgus resistance on the outside of my knee, so I actually have to apply pressure pushing out in order to maintain a functional, good, healthy squat. So I'm going to try to maintain pressure on the outside of my knees as I come into a squat, go down as far as I can, and come up. And I'll take this nice and slow, and we'll do about 3 sets of 10 reps of these to work on getting correct squat form and really driving those knees out, engaging those glutes.